Another perfect sunny day in Mexico City. Few things I'm surprised about Mexico City. First of all, I'm very surprised how safe it is. I've been here for a month and 2 weeks. I've been walking alone during the night, sometimes drunk, and been also to some of the shady neighborhoods, so have no trouble whatsoever. Feel very safe here. There's also a lot of cops around driving in nice Dodge police cars. So, generally, very safe. Secondly, Mexican Spanish is easy to understand, even though I'm a beginner in Spanish, and people are friendly towards tourists. There's some bugs in this park. Public transport is really good. Metro is fast, efficient, takes you anywhere, sometimes crowded during the rush hours, obviously, but otherwise, very good service. And the Metro bus is also amazing. And Uber works, so it's easy to get anywhere very easily. Surprising is also the amount of good restaurants. For lunch or for dinner, you can find a lot of different places around few blocks. An amazing meal for less than $15, usually around 10, and you can eat street food for less than $3. Tortas, tacos, and all kinds of Mexican food. I'm also surprised that the spicy food is not that spicy, but for example, today I had a habanero sauce with my salad that was so spicy that I couldn't eat it all. I usually do. I'm also surprised that some of the neighborhoods are very European, like Roma Norte, where I'm now staying. This is actually Roma Sur, the south part of Roma, but the north part is very European in our architecture and style and vibe, and it's hard to tell a difference from any southern European bigger city in these neighborhoods. I'm also surprised how good the beer is. Modelo, Victoria, Indio, there's plenty of good ones, Pacifico. I like them all. And they are cheap, too cheap. And MEZCAL is amazing, but you need to be careful with that. One surprising thing is that you cannot drink in public or you get into trouble. There's a lot of police cars patrolling, and it's a bad idea to walk around with an open can of beer or a bottle. Otherwise, I'm really enjoying my time here. You can live here actually very well off if you make $2,000 a month if you live somewhat modestly, but you will still have very good lifestyle. If you make more, even better. And obviously there is a huge contrast between people and different classes of people. But generally, Mexicans seem to be happy and content with their life, so you see a lot of smiling faces. One thing that was a happy surprise is how warm it still is in Mexico City. Looking at the climate tables, first I thought it's going to be pretty cold here in starting of October. Now it's mid-October, but it's actually very warm. If you're in the sun, it's actually hot. So that was a nice surprise. What don't I understand about Mexico City? Cannot grasp how big this place is. Like, it's simply endless. I've been staying only in Centro Histórico and Roma Norte, and this is simply a glimpse of the city because it spans over miles and miles. It will take months and years to actually roam around the whole city. And let me remind you, the metropolitan area has a population of 22 million people. That's more than 4 times the population of my home country. Things I love about Mexico City, one thing is obviously the color and the street art. Everywhere you go, in every neighborhood, you find a lot of cool street art. If you saw my previous video about the Mexican street art tour, we walked around with Diego Alonso for a couple of hours, and there was just endless things to see, and some of the murals were just huge, like the whole side of an apartment building, and huge graffitis, very nice street art, and they use a lot of color in their houses generally. That's actually something I really like. Tipping culture is not very common in Europe in many countries, but obviously for Americans it's very similar, I guess. Here it's customary to leave a tip of 10 or 20%, or at least 5%. Otherwise, I think they assume you are rude or something, or you were very disappointed to the service. So tips are customary. That's a good thing to know when you're traveling. I also love the fact that, okay, this is very common here. They're selling something, I don't know. One thing I really love about Mexico is the fact that as a foreigner you can travel here 6 months without a visa, and obviously that gives you ample time to go anywhere you like. Obviously my plan is to spend most of the time in Mexico City because so far I really like it, and I think I have the best opportunities here to find interesting people, develop my business, get some work done, grow my network, have hobbies, enjoy new experiences, and the weather is perfect. I have nothing to complain about. And after you spend 6 months here, you can just fly, say, to Colombia or to some other country and come back a couple of weeks later. And as far as I understand, it's very easy to get another 6 months. The altitude is crazy. We're above 2 kilometers from sea level, and that means that if you live close to the sea level and come here, shortness of breath even from walking is very common. Sometimes I'm like surprised myself, like what is going on? Why do I feel exhausted? But it's just that my body hasn't fully adjusted to the high altitude and the thinner air. Something to be aware of. So if you intend to go jogging the first day you come here, you might faint. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. One thing I really like about Mexico City is how openly people show affection. Parks and terraces are full of couples who openly kiss and hug each other. And it can even go to somewhat heavy petting, but I don't mind. I think it's lovely. Maybe mostly I'm jealous. And obviously there's better days and worse days for me personally, but that happens for everyone, and then it's just a question of like having routines that support you, having positive mindset, and focusing on things that make you happy. In the end, it's very simple, regardless where you are. What I appreciate about Mexican people is that they are very patient with your bad Spanish, because they see you're a foreigner and you're making an effort to speak in a language that is not your first language or native language. And usually I get my point across, and there's a lot of filler words and hand gestures that help you get your message delivered. And hopefully I find a girlfriend who's gonna teach me. Personal. So have I been doing anything special for the last 3 weeks or 4 since I made my first video about Mexico? Well, nothing really special. I've been going out, seeing friends, walking around, eating out, but to be honest, most of the time I'm spending alone working and planning, because obviously when you're living abroad, the first thing you need to get in order is your finances. So most of the time I'm spending home with my laptop. I would obviously love to go more out, meet new people, and do some hobbies, but I just have to be very conscious about my budget for the moment. And hopefully things will pick up and I will be able to enjoy my time more. Fair enough, we went to a football match to the Aztec Arena, I'm not a huge fan of football, but that was a great experience. The arena is huge. And yeah, we also went to dance salsa. Kind of. I ended up drinking MEZCAL a bit too much and ended up on the floor with a girl. Not in a way I would hope, but more like accidentally. But as you grow older, you always learn new things. Still valid. All in all, when you're traveling or living in a new place, you realize you only have so much time. I would love to do more things, but in reality I have to choose what is important. The sun is really hot today, honestly. Whew. And at times it's lonely, but in the end, being lonely is a choice. It's my choice if I decide to go out or stay in. It's my choice if I decide to speak with someone or keep my mouth shut. It's all up to me. In summary, I have no regrets coming here, and I think it will get better.